Hello, and welcome to the Holistic Health and Weight Loss Podcast. I am your host, Samantha Kasbrick, a certified holistic nutritionist, mother, and wife. After struggling with my weight for over a decade and hitting rock bottom, I finally discovered the healthy way to weight loss. It is now my mission to teach women how to get healthy so they can find lasting weight loss without counting calories or going hungry. This podcast will cover topics of holistic health, weight loss, self-love, and everything in between. If you're looking for more in-depth ways I can help you reach your transformation, please send me a message on Instagram at Nutrition with Samantha, and I'd be happy to chat with you. Okay, are you ready to transform your health? Let's do this. Hello, and welcome to the Holistic Health and Weight Loss Podcast. This is the very first episode, and I'd be lying if I thought I wasn't a bit nervous to record this. But I am here, I am doing it. I've been wanting to do this for quite some time now, and finally got the guts to start it. I'm quite a shy person and introverted, and so putting myself out there in yet another way in this podcast has been a challenge, but here I am. I'm super excited. I'm super excited to do this. And because of you, I want to help you. I bet that you are here because you are wanting to get healthy and lose weight. Maybe you've tried diets and haven't had any luck sticking with anything, and you really want to do this in a healthy way but don't really know how, or maybe you're still stuck in the diet mindset and cycling from diet to diet, waiting for the next thing that's going to be the one that works for you, but so far nothing has. Any of these situations, that's what I help women with, and I totally understand. Because I was stuck in the diet cycle, and now I talk to women like you every day, and I help women get healthy so they can find lasting weight loss without calorie counting, without dieting, without starving themselves. And now I'm here to spread my message even further through this podcast, and I'm really excited to do that. My goal with this podcast is to help you see that you don't need to diet to lose weight, and that it can be done in a healthy way. And I'm going to help you with that through this podcast. If you are looking for more support, I also work privately with clients as well. I also have an online course. If you're interested in learning more about any of those things, you can find me on Instagram at Nutrition with Samantha, and I'd be happy to chat with you. Or just come say hi anyway, because I'd love to know that you're listening to this and what you took away, and just connect with you. It'd be lovely. So I'd like to share a bit of my story with you, how I got to where I am, how I lost my weight, my transformation. So it started in my early 20s. All through my 20s, I tried to lose weight, and into my early 30s as well. I'm 35 now. In my 20s, though, I tried and failed at all kinds of diets. I was really stuck in the diet mentality, thinking that I needed to be obsessively tracking and weighing everything I ate. I remember I tried Weight Watchers a few times, actually, I think. And I just remember crying in the Subway because I didn't have enough points to add sauce onto my sub. And I didn't know what to do, because a sub without sauce isn't good, right? You don't want that. And so, yeah, I ended up not getting sauce and hating my sub and hating my life. It was awful. But I also remember starving all day long so that I could have a poutine at the movie theater for supper. I really liked the type of poutine that was at the movie theater at the time, and so I saved up all my points throughout the day by not eating anything until supper time, because the poutine took up all my points for the day. And it makes me so sad when I see women falling victim to this way of trying to lose weight and thinking it's the only way, or thinking that these aren't diets and that these aren't an unhealthy way to go about it, when you really come down to it, they are, because it causes obsessive behaviors, and it ruins your relationship with food, and causes you to see food not as nourishment, but as like a number value. And instead of looking at the quality of food, you're only looking at like the amount of calories, or Weight Watchers numbers. Like, there's different ways to look at it, but like, you're putting this number on food instead of looking at the food itself, which we should be looking at the food. We should be eating quality foods and, real foods, whole foods, instead of obsessing over the numbers. And yeah, it just, like, for me, this ruined my relationship with food. It caused me to be obsessive, always analyzing, always feeling guilty for eating, the bad foods. And it ruined my relationship with my body too. And it's not a good way to go about it. And that's why I'm so passionate about what I do, because it's just, you want to go about this in a healthy way, a sustainable way. And that's the thing too, is these diets, they don't last, right? You can't stay on a restrictive diet for an extended period of time. And then once you allow these foods back in, chances are you're going to have a bad relationship with food and feel really guilty eating the foods you love. And you're probably going to gain the weight back too. So that was my experience. I, rode the diet roller coaster, the weight roller coaster through my 20s. And I gained weight back and lost weight and gained weight and lost weight and gained weight. And I was never satisfied. I was never satisfied with my lowest weight in my 20s. I was always chasing that teenager weight for some reason. I don't know what it is about women wanting to look the way they did when they were teenagers. That's just, you're not an adult yet, so that's really not realistic in the first place. So that right there was an unhealthy obsession of mine as well. And so I just, if you're going through this, I want you to know, like, I totally understand, but also know that there is another way. You do not have to do it this way. There is a healthy way to do it, okay? So then in my early 30s, I had my daughter, and things got worse. I fell really deep into postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. I didn't care about my weight anymore, at least temporarily. I just ate my feelings for a couple of years. But then 2.5 years later, I found myself at my rock bottom. I was the heaviest I had ever been. I hated myself more than I ever had. I was obviously depressed and just miserable. So a lot of mental illness going on. I also had something called recurring pericarditis, which is a heart condition. It's inflammation of the heart. I also had temporary fluid around my heart as well. So I was in and out of the hospital with that. And of course, the doctors, the specialists, everyone that I saw, the numerous times that I was in the hospital, didn't have an answer for me. They had a name for it, but they didn't have a way to help me other than just shoving pills down my throat and telling me to go, just go take these pills and deal with it, basically. Well, that was my second cardiologist that did that. And I was thankful for that, because my first cardiologist, I don't know if that doctor just didn't believe me or if he truly didn't care about the pain that I was in. Either way, he just kind of shoved me off every time he saw me and, told me to only come back if I couldn't breathe, basically, which also happened sometimes with this. I was out of breath and in a lot of pain. It was horrible, and having to take care of a toddler through that. So thankful for my husband for helping me through that. He took a lot of the parenting during that time because I was in debilitating pain. So I had that. I also had chronic hives. It was idiopathic. So, which means that they didn't have an answer for me again. Chronic idiopathic urticaria is like the actual name for it. And the allergist that I saw just told me basically, well, this happens sometimes. We don't have an answer for you. He did like allergy tests and things. And I even did like a bunch of elimination things and couldn't come up with anything. But that was before I really knew about holistic nutrition. So I didn't have a ton of knowledge about that. I just tried things like, laundry detergent and soaps and lotions and makeup and stuff like that, more topical things. I didn't think about the things that were going into my body, like into my digestive system. But so yeah, my specialist there, my allergist, didn't have an answer for me on that. He told me that, he just like listed off some stats. I forget exactly what they were, but basically, this percentage will have it go away within a couple months. This percentage will have it for a year. I was on the later end. I had it for about a year. And he also told me that because I had it so long, I am 100% going to get it back someday. So that's lovely. Thank you for that, doctor. I'm hoping with my new lifestyle that won't happen, but I guess time will tell on that one. So I also, as I said, I had mental illnesses. I had severe depression and anxiety. I also had IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. That one started in my 20s. I have family members who have it as well. So I just thought it was totally normal. I didn't really think too much about it at the time. I also was dealing with sugar addiction, which is actually very common in today's society. And a lot of people don't even realize that they have it. Some people won't admit to believing that it is even a true thing when it totally, completely is. Food addiction is just as real as any other addiction. So I was going through all of those things, and I was absolutely miserable in my life as a whole, and I knew something had to change. So I started with the intentions of losing weight and trying to find myself. And so I went on this weight loss journey. I signed up for a gym, which I never thought I would do. I started just incorporating healthier foods and just completely overhauling my whole lifestyle over time. It was a slow process and it wasn't easy. But it ended up completely changing my life. The thing is, a lot of these conditions I had, and a lot of common conditions that people go through today, both physical and mental, come down to inflammation issues. And this is something I had no idea about at the time, but it's something that I learned about later when I took my holistic nutrition certification. And so all of a sudden, everything made sense. I'm getting ahead of myself a bit here, but so adopting this, which I didn't realize, anti-inflammatory lifestyle ended up changing my health, my life as a whole. It completely transformed everything. It was amazing. I just by changing what I ate and changing how I lived my life, starting exercising, changing my mindset around things, around food, really working on my mind. I read a lot of self-help books and just really dove into personal development. I got outside more. I did all of these things that I didn't realize at the time were going to just completely transform my life. Now, it wasn't an easy road. There were lots of ups and downs. And I still was having some recurrences at the beginning as well. Like, this isn't something that just snap your fingers and it goes away, right? My pericarditis, I still had a couple recurrences while I was in the process of changing my lifestyle, which prevented things and made things go a bit slower, like especially going to the gym. I couldn't work out for like weeks because these would last weeks. These recurrences, it was absolutely awful. And it took a while to see results because of that, because of the slow start, and also because it just is when you go about it this healthy way. I mean, it totally depends on where you're starting from and your circumstances and things like that. But if you go about it this healthy way and make these baby steps, really just focus on creating, 1 or 2 habits at a time, it's going to go slower. But I did end up losing 40 pounds. I became my healthy weight, and I overcame my mental illnesses as well as my physical illnesses. My life was completely transformed, as I've already mentioned. And that was when I realized, without really realizing why, but I realized the power of taking care of yourself, of living a healthy lifestyle, of nutrition, of exercise. So I started looking into holistic nutrition. I started following holistic nutritionists on Instagram, and I ended up enrolling after much consideration and talking to my husband and really trying to figure things out. I ended up enrolling in a holistic nutrition school. So I became certified in holistic nutrition, and now I help women with all of these things. Mainly women come to me with a weight loss goal, which I totally understand because that was my original goal as well. But then I'm also able to help them with anything else that they're dealing with as well, because oftentimes if you are overweight, you do have underlying conditions as well. And that's part of what I help my clients with. So now I help women see that diets are not the answer, how powerful holistic nutrition can be, and how to get healthy so they can find lasting weight loss without counting calories, without dieting, and without going hungry. So that's my story. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope you were able to take something away from it. I hope my future episodes are going to help you. I'm going to give tons of information, tons of tips. I really want this podcast to be something that you can listen to and take something away from each episode to start implementing if you feel ready to do so. I just caution you not to take on too much at a time, which is why I'm just going to do 1 episode a week so that you can just take maybe that one thing if it resonates with you and go with that for that week, and then maybe start something new the next week. Let me know on Instagram at Nutrition with Samantha if you connected or resonated with any of the things that I shared. I would love to chat with you about what you're going through, not necessarily to work with you, I just love talking about this stuff, and I love connecting with my community, and I would love to know if you're listening to this, because the only way I can know if you're listening actually is if you connect with me and tell me that you are, because all I see is numbers on my side. I don't see people. So I would love to know who the numbers belong to of the people that are listening. So let me know, and let me know any topics you would love for me to cover. If there's anything that you specifically need help with, I would love to cover that topic and really help you out. So yeah, reach out to me on Instagram, and I will talk to you again next week. I'm so grateful that you took the time to listen to this episode. If you're new around here, welcome. I cannot wait to help you with more episodes. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I really appreciate you spending your valuable time with me, and I hope I am making it worth it. If you do find value in this podcast, please share it with others, and be sure to tune in next week for a brand new episode.